Welcome back to Smyrna, Georgia. Final games of the tournament. Here in Gym 2, we got the men's bronze medal match. New York Empire closest to the camera. Texas Rattlesnakes on the far end of the court. Empire starts with the ball. Jerron Black down the middle, blocked by Zach Arambula. Rattlesnakes with it now. Will Lopez spins, throws it down, and stopped by the feet of Jerron Black. And just into the broadcast booth is your favorite announcer of the weekend, Thomas Rice. He's back to call this men's bronze medal match. I'm going to turn it over to him and his color commentator, Jimmy Sanchez.
Thank you, Bill, for letting us commentate this men's bronze medal game. On table right, we have the New York Empire, and on table left, we have the Texas Rattlesnakes. The left wing for the Rattlesnakes will step into the 3-hole. He's going to go with a low drive skip shot, collected by number 8, Kelvin Atkinson, for the Empire. He's going to hit center and find his way into the back of the net. Jimmy, what did you see on that shot there?
New York's done a really good job with some skip shots, a lot of good action on their throws. It's just par for the course for their offensive scheme, and got right over the center on that one.
Couldn't say it better myself. Shadon Kosh with the ball. He's going to find that 7-hole. Pops off. Looks like Jim DeBus. And it's going to go out of bounds. Speaking of DeBus, he's going to throw the ball. Gets past the center, Kelvin Atkinson. And it's collected by your local favorite, Jerron Black. He's going to set up with that skip shot down the line. It's going to go out at about the high ball line. Jimmy, if you were the Rattlesnakes, what would you set up here?
You know, New York is a very interesting team defensively. They don't really have much when it comes to endurance. Except this tournament, they've done a pretty good job with that. So I would try and really spread them out. Get the wings to stay close to the line, and then shoot the gaps. But you want to make sure you get a lot of action on the throws.
As Kelvin Atkinson blocks the ball, he goes up, and it's going to be just over that line. And he's coming back to set up his team and him for this next defensive play. As I believe that's Will Lopez at the right wing for the Rattlesnakes. He's going to go for a bouncer. Blocked out of bounds by number 5, Jerron Black. Black sets up at the post. The 1. Bounce shot. Hits Zach Armambula in the center. He's going to collect it and steps to his right. Goes for that line. Shadon Kosh blocks it out of bounds.
See, that's what you want to do. You want to try and spread these wings out because they're playing really stuck in the gaps.
7:40 on the clock. 1-0 game. Shadon Kosh goes for his 7 gap. Blocked by Armambula. Hands it off to Jim DeBus. And he's going to fly out of bounds and hit the Empire's bench. Jerron Black with the ball here. Once again setting up on that 1 outside post. Hits a 5-6 hole. Collected by Armambula, number 6 for the Rattlesnakes. Hands it off to the bus. Who's going to hit a 5. Blocked by Kelvin Atkinson, who's going to like to take it himself. Sets up in the 5. Bounce ball from him. Hits Armambula in the floor. Hands it off to Will Lopez, number 3. Who will set up his next shot. Jim, something I'm seeing a lot early from the Rattlesnake crew. There's a lot of body.
Yeah, and you saw that a lot in their last game, semifinal match. There you go, right there. He had a goal into the 7-hole. Was that not, Thomas?
Nope, that was absolutely correct. It was thrown by Shadon Kosh, a little low skip ball. Got right in between Jim DeBus and Zach Armambula. Speaking of the bus, this lines up in the middle. Big bounce shot. Finds the 3-hole. Blocked. Saved by Shadon Kosh. Hands the ball off to... Actually, he's going to keep it himself. Goes for the 8-hole. Blocked by Jim DeBus. Excellent shot selection, in my opinion. He's going to have it in about the 2. Bounce shot down the line. Blocked by Kosh. Out of bounds.
New York's doing a really good job adjusting to the ball. They're reacting, they're attacking, they're not trying to anticipate anything. It's a pretty good defensive effort right now.
Absolutely. New York's one of those teams that has stayed fighting throughout the tournament. Speaking of fighting, they're fighting the score right now and increasing their lead to 3-0 against the Rattlesnakes. Wow.
I think they have found something attacking the center for the Rattlesnakes. New York's doing a pretty good job. They're crossing them up on each side, and then they're hitting skips right over them.
Bounce ball from Lopez. Blocked by Jerron Black. Gonna go to that post again. Bounce ball cross court. Blocked by the bus. And so close to that goal line. But Armin Buell gets his arms on it. He's gonna set up on the right wing. Gonna hit Alkinson. Who's gonna take the ball from his 3? Skip shot. Blocked by the bus. Winds up at his 3, right where he blocked it. He's gonna go for that 9-hole, blocked by Black. Winds up hitting at 7 or 8. Black hits the 6. Pursued by Armin Biola, who collects it. Hands it off to the bus. And blocked out. Hits the line judge in the process.
You clearly see what New York's game plan is right now. They're definitely attacking the gaps between 2 wings over there. I imagine that at some point they'll probably switch that up after they've got the, just like that, went down the line there. So they're trying to see if they can suck the wings in and then get some line shots. But the gap shots seem to be scoring.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great way to get those wings to spread out, get them away from the center. And speaking of getting away from the center, a great effort pursuing Jim DeBus from making sure that ball went out of bounds. He's going to step inside. Looks like it is 3. It's going to go out of bounds at about the team line. Drawn Black with the ball. Steps inside. He's about at the 2. Bounce shot. Blocked by Armin Biola. Goes forward, collects it. Hands it in the back net to Jim. The bus. Sets up in his 3 again. Big bouncer. Making Jerron work for it. If I'm Will Lopez, I definitely want to see a line shot here, like a 99, like a 79 with some like angle. And I think the Rattlesnakes might find a hole there, potentially. But that's the only one I see at the moment. Number 3, Shadon Kosh, goes for the 9 and gets it.
What did I tell you? They've been hitting the gaps, hitting the gaps, hitting the gaps. They stuck those wings in and then got Jim DeBus right there in that corner.
As a player, I love to hear that ding when it goes in the back of the net.
Yeah, unless you're the one getting scored on.
Well, that's true. And we definitely seen a lot of that this weekend, haven't we, Jim?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
I don't blame you. I don't either. As we have a couple defensive stops from each side, the score is 4-0, 3:21 on the clock. The bus finds and gets it in. Pops off Jerron Black and flies into the back of the net. Shadon Kosh trying to help defensively, just couldn't get there in time. The score is now 4-1. Kosh sets up in the 8. Hits the 5. Center Zach Armin Bueller trying to get his team fired up with one of their popular catchphrases. Lopez blocks the ball. Bounce shot blocked by Kelvin Atkinson. Gets it to Shadon Kosh. Typically, I see Kosh, and he's typically a very quick thrower. So he's taking his time, and that time he did, and found that hole.
Another shot into the gap. I don't know, it looks like Texas might have given up a lot of their energy in that semifinal game because they're not quite attacking the defenses as well as they did in the previous game. We'll see if they can regroup, catch their breath here with this timeout.
And even then, the Rattlesnakes had a tough time in the round-robin play this tournament, going against quite a few excellent teams in this tournament. But so did the Empire as well, so.
Yeah, these are two of the teams from Pool A, and they definitely earned their shot to represent themselves in this bronze medal match. I expected this to be a little bit closer of a game, but right now New York seems to be handling things pretty well. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of goalball left to play.
Yeah, absolutely. With about 2 minutes left here in this first half, there's that 2 plus another 12 minutes in the second. As we had a wing switch, Dim DeBus goes to right, and Lopez goes to left. John Black calls the substitution, calling himself out, and number 7, Ali Guashi, Manuel Puma's coming in. I think Duran's taking himself out here to this game just to kind of watch and observe the game a little bit and just let his left wing get in some work. Kosh goes for the gap. Blocked by the left wing. Collected by Armin Bula. Clears Jim DeBus. Goes for the gap. Blocked by Kelvin Atkinson. Big bounce ball. Long ball from New York. I believe it's their first penalty of the game.
See if the Rattlesnakes can capitalize on this one, make it a 3-point game.
I'm thinking they go for one of the outside lines, I'm thinking. But Zach Arambila sets up in the middle. Hits the middle. Blocked.
That was a missed opportunity, but great defensive effort to get that block. If I were the Rattlesnakes, I'd try and attack the Puma who just came in and see if he's able to handle it.
Absolutely, Jim. Could not agree more. There's a little banter between the two teams. Well, Lopez goes to the back center. Steps back inside to his post. Sets up a shot. Goes for the line. Blocked out by Shadon Kosh. Excellent block by him. Shadon Kosh rolls. Gives the ball to Puma. His first shot of the game. Potentially, I see an opening for him to capitalize on if he gets the ball again. But looks like the Bucks will get another opportunity and throw us out of bounds. A wise coach once told me that every time you throw out of bounds, there's a 0% chance of scoring.
A very astute observation there, Thomas.
Lopez will get the ball.
That was good coverage there by Puma. Get that go out of bounds.
I thought he was going to block it out of bounds, to be honest with you. Way to see the aggression early from number 7. And there was an opening there at number 9, but he was just out. Just a little adjustment there with his feet, and I think he would totally have that 9 hole. Armabula has the ball in the 7. Puma with the block. Gets in the 3. Hits the 5, blocked by Armabula. Who quick pitches Kelvin Atkinson in the center. And New York will call a timeout with 44.2 seconds left here in this first half. I think it's a good timeout by New York.
New York is doing a really good job defensively. This Texas team managed to score a good 4 goals against a very competitive Johns team in the semis. But New York right now seems to be handling themselves very well. We'll see if the Rattlesnakes come up with any adjustments at halftime to try and spread this New York defense out a bit, because right now I don't see much opportunity for any scores.
And we'll see what Shadon Kosh here will do with the ball in his hand. 44.2 seconds left. He's going to clear the left wing Puma. Well drive smooth ball, blocked by Will Lopez, out of bounds. Lopez sets up in the 8. Bounce ball. See Kelvin Atkinson levitate, got the ball, gives it to Kosh. Spin throws. So Kosh there got caught in open space and did a spin throw, and he kind of launched it out of bounds. Well, could not orientate on that throw. The bus throws, blocked by Puma with his feet. Puma throws, blocked by Armambula. Who will take a shot from the middle? Throws it at the middle. And that is halftime, ladies and gentlemen. With the score being 5-1. And in the gym number 1 is the men's gold medal game. The current score for that game is going to be 5-0. Manacores with the lead right now on the Johns. The Johns being undefeated in round robin play. And the Manacores going 2-0 or 2-1-0. It's actually kind of surprising me a little bit. I think Andy's team has shown a lot. But with Josh Wellborn and John Kusku on the other side, that definitely makes things a little more fun for that matchup. What do you think, Jim?
I think the Johns exerted a lot of effort in the semifinal game against these Texas Rattlesnakes. I honestly think that one of the reasons you're seeing the scores being a little bit lopsided in both gyms is I really think that Texas and the Johns basically gave it all they had. And we might be seeing little effects of fatigue, particularly on defense for both of those teams. But there's still a lot of goalball to play. These Rattlesnakes are definitely a spunky bunch, and we'll see if maybe they can make some adjustments at halftime and make this a closer matchup.
So interesting coaching adjustment from Jerron Black. Heard him on the sideline. Let's go 60%. Let's take the foot off the gas a little bit. I'm a little bit of a different opinion. I think that if they let their foot off the gas even a little bit, the Rattlesnakes will find the open door and just gas it all the way through. I think the Empire just needs to keep going the way they are.
I don't know, Thomas, because like I said about that Johns and the Rattlesnake game, New York had their hands full against the Manicore in their semifinal match. I think that what Black's trying to do is get them to focus on defense, attack that defense as good as you can. You got a 4-point lead, and just be judicious on offense. You don't want any penalties right now. You want to make sure that you keep this firm command of the lead going into this second half. Now, if the Rattlesnakes make adjustments at halftime and all of a sudden a couple goals starts going in, I can definitely see New York turning back up the offense.
I think that's a very valid argument, Jimmy, and there's definitely pros and cons to both sides of that. We'll definitely see how that unfolds here in the next about a minute here as Aisha checks are wrapping up, and we begin the second half of play. underway with a lot of squeaking. Armadillo.
Ooh. Very, very, very close shot into the gap there, but good save.
As Kelvin Atkinson throws out of bounds and takes out a water bottle. I mean, gotta take out somebody. Looks like it's gonna be the water bottle supply. Hydration's important, kids. And great defensive stop from Puma here on the left wing. Big bounce ball from the Rattlesnakes. Will Lopez. Rattlesnakes and New York keeping the same lineups here. Kelvin. Big bounce ball. Interesting statistic that I've heard recently is that left-hander players score 15% more than right-handed players. Thought it was very interesting.
I wouldn't know. I'm left-handed and can't score, Thomas.
Well, me too, but... And I don't know who takes these stats, but... You know, it was an interesting fact when I heard it. With quick exchange of fire, Rattlesnakes definitely turning up the pace here, and as a result, Zach Armabila throws a high ball.
I agree with the strategy. You're down by 4, but you really got to be mindful because this could wind up hurting you.
Absolutely, it allowed the Empire to get a... Shadon Kosh takes the ball from the left wing and finds the 7-hole, and it's going to go in. Speaking of extending the lead, I was just about to say that looks like they're going to have that 5-point lead now. Let me locate the ball. Will Lopez throws it. Great block by Kelvin Atkinson as the Empire calls a substitution. So number 8 is coming out, Kelvin Atkinson, and number 6, Christopher Woodholt, is coming in for the Empire. We'll see how they modify this lineup, but Shadon Kosh rolls over to the left. Puma's in the middle. We'll see if it stays that way. Looks like the lineup's going to stay the same. Shadon Kosh from the left wing makes Jim DeBus block that ball in his 2. DeBus, bounce ball, blocked forward by Puma. Great kick forward. Sets up in the 5 with about 5 seconds remaining to throw. Blocked by Lopez. Sets up in his gap. A 7. And makes Kosh block the ball. Collects it. He'll back up. Take it himself. Line shot. And finds it. What an excellent line shot from Shadon Kosh.
That was a beautiful throw right down the line.
Speaking of line shots, Rattlesnakes trying to hit the post of their own. However, it was bunked by number 6, Woodholt, who hands it off to Puma, number 7 in the middle. Low drive skipper, collected by Armabila. Who's going to throw out of bounds at about the team to wing line. Woodholt takes the ball. One of his first opportunities of this game. Goes with an off-pace ball. Straight throw, smooth ball. Collected by Lopez. Skipper, collected by Puma. Stopped it with his bottom foot. He's going to spin throw it. Armabila collects. If I'm Puma, I'm thinking about maybe a 51 or 59 here, just to kind of spread them apart a little bit. Speaking of Puma, he's going to block that ball out of bounds at the team line.
As much as I'd be worried about committing another penalty, the Rattlesnakes are going to have to start pushing right now. This is a pretty big lead to overcome with 7:14 left.
Shadon Kosh rolls over to his left wing, gets it from the right wing, Woodholt. Very low, smooth ball. Rattlesnakes are trying to hold on here. Lopez hits the 4-5 as Puma will get another opportunity. Hits Jim DeBus as the ball rolls out of bounds. Ooh, no, looks like they got their hands on it and saved it. DeBus is going to throw it. Blocked by Kosh. Now that will go out of bounds. Excellent save of possession by the Rattlesnakes. As Kosh will take the ball from his one. Goes to that cross court. That ball flies into the stands.
Jim DeBus, the old veteran over there, is giving it everything he has. You got to give it to him.
Absolutely. However, if I'm the Empire, that's what I would target right now. He's flying from his post to his inside post and a little beyond to help his center, Zach Armabula. If I'm the Empire, I want to take advantage of that. As Michael Puma is going to throw the ball at the one and go out of bounds. The bus switches wings. Ball pops up. Gosh with the save out of bounds. As New York will call timeout here with 6:06 on the clock. Score is still 7-1 in the other gym. The score remains 5-0. Man, of course, with the lead.
Yeah, it's interesting in the other gym, Manicore, they definitely still have the lead, but the fact that they haven't scored anymore says something about that John's defense, which is similar to what's been their trademark. They've given up a couple goals at the beginning of games and held it down to end them, but you're going to need to get some goals over there to make that a game. Over here, Rattlesnakes are going to need to pull out something because they're starting to run out of time.
They'd have to get at least a goal a minute to catch up. Sean Kosh with the ball. Hits the 3-hole. Something I think that has been key to the Empire's defense is they're very low center to the ground. It allows them to attack the ball. Some people play very high, and so I think that's contributed to the Empire's defensive success. As Armabila takes the ball from the 7. Puma gets his hand on it, and Lodholt gets it out of bounds with his right arm. Who will take it himself? Slow rolls it. Interesting. Eats up a little time on the clock at least. Armabila throws out of bounds. Timmy, what did you think of, or Jimmy, excuse me, what did you think of that slow roller from number 6 Lodholt?
I'm not entirely sure. I think that honestly might have been a miscommunication. There's still 5:15. It's a little too early to start draining clock, but I could be wrong.
Definitely lots of room for interpretation. As we have a line shot from Jim DeBus, and it's blocked by Shannon Kosh. Exactly 5 minutes on the clock now. Kosh goes for the gap. Blocked by Armabila. Hands it off to Will Lopez, number 3. Blocked by Lodholt. And it goes out of bounds. In the other gym, Manicore's got another goal win. 6-0 is the score. Lodholt goes for a slow roller line shot. Collected by Will Lopez. Aztecs calls a timeout with 4:35 on the clock.
It seems that New York is content with trying to bleed clock, which I guess at this point, if they're feeling a little winded, might make some sense. They have a commanding lead. There's 4:35, so it would take a pretty Herculean effort by the Rattlesnakes to get back. It's not impossible, so we'll see what happens in the next 4 minutes and change. I
recall a gold medal match recently in a race at Nationals where the score was like 12-7 with 3 minutes remaining, and all of a sudden, John Cusco comes back and like saves the day with about nearly 2 goals a minute.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I just don't know if the Rattlesnakes have enough in them at this point, but we'll see.
Blocked by Woodholt, thrown by Armambila. Woodholt actually, okay, he's gonna set up. Throws it with a little effort that time. Blocked by Armambila. Sets up in a 3. Spin throw. Blocked by Puma. He's gonna launch it to Armambila. Collected by him. Taken by him. Kicked forward by Puma. Ball is over. Excellent kick by Puma. I think it's Jim DeBus. Yep, sounds like his ball. Blocked out of bounds by Shadon Kosh. And the other Jim, the Johns have their first score. So now it is a 6-1 affair. Shadon Kosh goes for the line shot. Blocked by Will Lopez. Line shot return to Shadon Kosh, and the Rattlesnakes get him with 3:24 on the clock. Scores 2-7.
It's an excellent line shot, similar to the one New York scored just a couple minutes earlier.
Shadon Kosh threw that one with a little anger. Got a chip on his shoulder after he let that goal in. Zach Armambila throws at Puma, blocked by Puma. Goes on the back. At the 5. Skipper, blocked by DeBus in the 7. He sets up his shot, takes his time. 3 minutes on the clock. Wasted opportunity by the Rattlesnakes, goes out of bounds.
Yeah, the Rattlesnakes using too much of the shot clock here. They do not have a lot of time left. They need to start pressing a little bit.
If I'm the Rattlesnakes, I'm looking to trap and pitch. Just get that ball and just let it fly. But keep it on the court. Every time you throw out, it's a waste of possession for the Rattlesnakes.
Yeah, I'm just be mindful. Don't want to push the high ball line too much. You don't want to get any penalties at this point, but you are running out of time to score. In the semifinal game, they need to push it.
So they take a pretty considerable amount of time to wind up that throw. As Jim DeBus has the ball. Used about 7 at the shot clock, and we'll find the hole. Shadon Kosh gets scored on, pops off his hip and goes back. Now a 7-3 game, 2:44 on the clock. New York calls a subsequent substitution. Woodholt comes out, and number 1, Alfonso McFadden, will come in for the Empire. If I'm the Empire, I move Shadon Kosh back to right wing, have number 1 in the middle, and put Puma back at left wing. What do you think, Jim?
I don't know. I'd actually probably put Alfonso here at left and then leave Puma in the middle.
And it looks like that's what they do. Kosh with the call. Throws down the line to Jim DeBus. Blocked out. 2:37 on the clock. Let's see if the Rattlesnakes see the wing switch and start targeting their left or right. And DeBus throws out of bounds at about midcourt. McFadden hands off to Kosh. Blocked out of bounds by Jim DeBus. 2:24 on the clock. We have movement on the Rattlesnakes. Wing switch. Lopez at left. Jim DeBus at right. Throws immediately out of bounds. McFadden with the ball. Goes for a line shot. tips off the feet and goes just out.
McFadden, a.k.a. Magic, about did some magic there with a line shot that almost went in.
Speaking of great defensive plays, number 7 blocks it with Kosh. 7, Puma, throws at 9, blocked. His ball is thrown, nor Shakan Kosh. He's going to collect the ball. Traps that one with his chest. Goes for a skip shot. Gets past Armabula, but saved by, looks like Will the Bus.
Good block by McFadden there.
Puma with the throw. Tries to go for that 9-hole again. Funnel shot. Just out. Could not tell if that was team or wing line. Score update in Gym 1. Score is 7-2. Manacores with the lead. 7-3. Speak of the devil. The Johns just scored. As we have a defensive stop by the Empire. McFadden takes a little speed off his ball, eats up some clock with 1:16. Now's the time I would expect to see the Empire chewing some clock. Shadon's got the ball. Sets up in his 8. Nearly hits his center, Puma, but he gets the ball off. Collected by Armabula. Under a minute to go. Armabula throws, blocked by Puma. And Drawn Black calls a timeout for the Empire.
Interesting that we have mirroring scores in both gyms, 7-3 in Gym 1, 7-3 in Gym 2. I'm thinking New York's going to try and slow this down a little bit.
Yeah, no, me too. Especially with a 4-goal lead in under a minute.
Yeah, at this point, I don't see that it would be possible for the Rattlesnakes to come back. I foresee New York just trying to eat up the last of this clock and pack up, go home.
Yeah, the
Get
Rattlesnakes.
the bronze.
The Rattlesnakes would order you have to score a goal every 10 seconds, which is not likely. Kosh with the ball. Quickly lets one go. Nearly gets that wing. But the ball will be blocked out. He's got the ball. Short shot clock, really short shot clock. Blocked by McFadden, a.k.a. Magic. 37 seconds and counting down. Watch him go to the line. Blocked by the right wing, Will Lopez. Big wind up. Blocked by Magic. You heard his hit pads on that one. Puma will take the ball. 15 seconds left. Blocked by the bus. 12. Big bounce ball. All the Empire has to do is hold it, and this game is over. Passes it to Shadon Kosh. And that is game here in Gym number 2. 7-3 is the final score. So the Empire will walk away with the bronze medal. And in Gym number 1, score is 8-3. Manticores with the lead with an unknown amount of time remaining because the scoreboard in that gym still does not work. If you're watching this live stream, we'll keep you up to date as long as we can before we have to get shut down for the day here, as the final game in Gym 2 has concluded. Alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, Thomas Rice joined by Jim Sanchez. Absolute pleasure, Jim, to commentate this game with